Okay, so back to Cleartune. Now, the convention is actually we usually tune the A string first, but we're not going to do that right now because that's really for more advanced advanced students. Let's start with the thinnest string and go to the thickest. Remember, E is the thinnest string. So we'll start with that one, and I'm just going to pluck it with my index finger. Now, if you look at the meter on the bottom, it tells us we're almost at E, but we're just a tiny bit too high. Now, just for the heck of it, I'll show you the meter on the top. That's also telling us we're too high. So do you remember? You turn that fine tuner, that's right, counterclockwise to make it a lower pitch. Let's try it now. Let's see what happens. I just turned it. Still a problem. So we're going to do it again. I know it's a bit dark. Let's try it now. We're going counterclockwise. Let's try now. I haven't gone far enough, it looks like. So I'll keep turning. I went too far. See how the arrow is now on the left side of the E? So, clockwise to go higher. Now look what's going on. This is kind of interesting. We're almost, we're like a hair off, and Cleartune even can't figure it out. So I'm going to go just a little higher because my gut tells me that we need to go a little bit higher. Okay, so, you know, it doesn't go exactly on the zero, and I'll tell you why. When you pluck the string, there are actually other frequencies called overtones which occur. And so Cleartune is so sensitive, it's picking up the decay of the sound, which is actually going to give us more than just one frequency. So more important thing is to just look for that green arrow, that arrow turning green. Let's try the A string. I think that's pretty good. Let's stick with that one. Let's go to the D string. Now the D turns green, but it just goes a tiny bit to the left as well, so I'm going to just give it a little turn clockwise. Alright, I think that one, one tiny little turn, but I wouldn't touch it too much. Let's try now. Okay, that's pretty good. Now G. Now G is too high. It did turn green, but not for long enough for me to be convinced. So I'm going to turn counterclockwise. Let's try now. Oh, I went too far. Let's try again. Clockwise. Now G tends to have overtones that look like they're all over the place. So I bet we're in tune, but I'm going to turn a little bit higher just to see what happens. Yeah, now we're too high. So we'll go back down again. Okay, so that's good enough for me because, as I said, G tends to vary widely, especially on this violin. I'll tell you, this is not my usual violin. I needed to find one with four fine tuners. Mine only has one on the E string, and this violin tends to not be very stable. I have to tell you, if you got a violin that was cheap on eBay, like I'm talking like $40, including a bow and a case, you're likely not going to have a very good experience with this course. I would advise you to get something a little bit higher up, because that's what I was just showing you, and the violin never stays in tune. You'll want to tune your violin every day, or every day that you practice, because actually, believe it or not, changes in weather impact the tuning, and you're going to find that the violin needs to be in tune in order to do all of these lessons that we're going to do. Now, one final thing, and oh, someone's got a birthday today, it's telling me. Okay, so one final thing to do that you'll want to know about, it's not to do, it's just something to tell you, is that I wanted to answer the question about why the E string tends to be the only violin on a professional level instrument with a fine tuner? Well, the reason is because, as you gathered from our past discussion, that although professionals usually tune with the pegs only, the E string is a little bit more fragile. The E string is so thin that it can actually slice through the bridge if you use the peg too many times. So we don't want that to happen. So that's why we rely more on the fine tuner for the E string when the E string needs to be tuned.